Welcome everybody tonight to the live stream for usually Tales of Hell Aftermath Chronicles, but not tonight. Tonight, we're going to be talking about some things. Talking about ScapeCon number 2, 2022. Let's get off this screen here. Hello. Welcome to the live stream that's usually for Tales of Hell Aftermath Chronicles for the production of said show. I'm Ryan, the guy who does that content. You can find us on YouTube. Type in the YouTube search bar, Tales of Valhalla. Bunch of Heroscape stop motion content, all lore, story, and fun. Give it a look. But tonight, we're not going to be doing that. We're not going to be editing. I'm not going to be giving updates on editing. We'll do that on Wednesday. Tonight, I am joined by Mr. JoeCrazy and Mr. Jeremy to talk about ScapeCon 2022. ScapeCon 2. ScapeCon 2. We, all three of us, were there, among a lot of other people as well, were there, and that was like, what was it, like a little over a week ago, about a week ago. We were there, got to enjoy that week of basically all-out gameplay. And here, I'm going to get a photo. Just give a quick photo of the event. Just basically, you had Heroscape battlefields everywhere, and it was event after event after event of the playing the game for like 5 days, and it was a ton of fun, but it did wear you out. But we're going to talk about that a little bit. Joe, Jeremy,
we can talk now?
you can talk now. Come
yeah!
on.
What's going on?
How's it going? It's like I haven't talked to you or seen you like for a week.
A week now? Yeah.
It's been a week.
It's amazing. It's crazy. It's insane.
Right.
We met in person. We hugged.
We did. We hugged multiple times. It was a brotherly fun thing. No, but it was great to actually meet you. It makes the world kind of just, that much smaller,
For sure.
Oh hell yeah.
To meet up with people, with you, with Ben, Jeremy, and actually Jeremy, I only met him in person one time before, and that was just for like an afternoon.
Wow.
Yeah, that was like a one-day thing.
Yeah, it was a one-day thing.
Which is wild.
And so, no, it was great to spend some time with him, great to spend some time with you, and now we get to spend some time, a little bit of time tonight, talking about these 5 days of, how would you describe it?
Adventure.
Adventure, yeah.
It was an adventure, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I'll toast to that.
Absolutely. Here, hold on one moment. I'm going to, just so people, when people think, well, Heroscape, what's Heroscape and what's ScapeCon? I'm just going to play, they're not going to be audio, but I'm going to play Season 2 of Tales of Hell so people can see some of the terrain, some of the miniatures of the show, which is of the game. So here, let me just pop that up on the screen there. Just going to be a little screen beside us. Make sure that audio's down. Yep. So they'll see. They won't hear the audio, but they'll actually see what this game's about. People are just coming on wondering what is this about. So because I had no time, and like I took video from ScapeCon, like some video, some photos, but I haven't really had time to organize it at all. Joe, how about yourself? Like, I know you recorded a lot of stuff, but have you really
Yeah, I got all the games on my computer. I think I have about 14 hours worth of footage.
Wow! Oh my gosh!
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you. I think were basically the professional in the most professional like content creator, because
I've never seen whatever that thing you were holding. I've never seen it before up until that point. So that was
definitely a camera rig.
That was
It was very
fascinating.
nice. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
I found myself outclassed in every way.
I mean,
it was cool. It was cool though. I promise.
I was impressed with myself to be able to hold that thing
I just had this little camera
for as long as I did.
This little vlogging camera. That was it. That's all I had, which is nice. But compared to your rig, I just felt so like underprepared. And yeah, so it was me, you, and Sir Heroscape, I think, most of the time. Ben, who's MK plus Ultra, if some of you on the YouTube sphere know his channel, and he's pretty popular within the Heroscape community with his battles. He was there, and he did a little bit of that too. But yeah, I think Joe, you're the main guy for most.
Yeah,
of
I filmed
that, so.
all of my games. I went in planning to film all of my games, and I intended to do that, and I did.
No, that's awesome.
I already knew.
Right.
I needed to have good sound, so I had a wireless lavalier microphone attached to the rig. Then I knew I was going to film it for a long time, so I needed to clear out my entire phone hard drive, essentially. And then, of course, me filming for a long time, I had backup batteries for the microphones, backup batteries for the light, because I had a small little light on top of my rig, which that light comes in real handy.
Oh, so, yeah, for sure. And we're actually kind of getting into the middle when we should start at the beginning, I'm thinking. So what I'm going to do first is introduce you guys, because people are probably hearing you talk and wondering, who are these guys, if they've never seen us before. So Joe, go ahead and introduce yourself first to the audience.
Me? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, I am... Hold on. I got ice cream in my mouth. Hold on. I wasn't prepared for this. Anyway, I am JoeCrazy3193. The numbers are just a formality. I make content on YouTube. Right now, mostly Heroscape content. I do like playing video games, movies, TV shows, that sort of stuff, but short films. But Heroscape is my love and passion that I picked up again. I had it as a kid, and now as an adult, I picked it up again with my friends, and we play game night. Play the game Dirt for game nights, and I'm just so happy to find a community that is so open and so friendly, and so great to be around.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Very thankful.
That community is, yeah. I mean, just a little bit. I mean, because there's way more community than the 40-some people that are there. I think.
Oh,
that was
yeah,
some of the hardcore community there.
Sure.
For sure. Yeah, but yeah, no, they were very nice people. Very nice people, all of them, pretty much. And Jeremy, introduce yourself, my man.
All right. So my name is Jeremy, or also known as. So I have a lot of names online, unfortunately. That just happens to be the case, but. I go by the SLM on Twitch. I run the SLM Call It, which is my info dump of the internet, essentially, for lore and video games and whatever random thing I happen to be obsessed with at the time. And one part of those obsessions include Heroscape, of course, because I do consider Heroscape one of my very first hyper passions, like something that I got into like really, really quickly when I was a kid. I started playing it back when it first came out. And played with the set for a pretty good while with my family, and then kind of dropped off, and then introduced it to some friends in high school, brought it back up, started playing it again, dropped it off, started playing with some people in college, and dropped it off, and it kind of just, whenever the opportunity presented itself, I was attempting to play Heroscape. Fun fact, I just got one of my coworkers interested in it, so it might just be coming back again.
I mean, that's where it starts, right? You start with your coworkers, your friends, your family.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like this, this consistent thing that you're able to introduce really easily, and surprisingly so. A lot of people get involved, and they're like, "Oh, this is actually really cool," and you're like, "What is it? You like this?" And you're like, "Oh, let's go," And you start introducing everybody to the game. But yeah, just been involved with the community for a while. You might know me as Majora's Incarnation on the forums, and one of my big things there was, of course, posted a lot about the lore there. Was able to work with the custom creators of Valhalla. They were making some units, and I was able to write for those units. I've done a few things, but of course, once again, when I was dropping it off during that later period or so, I hadn't been on the forums a minute. I'm getting back on the forums, so I gotta start posting again. But I'm probably gonna be showing up here or there every once in a while, so you'll see me around.
Yeah, I would say Jeremy is pretty much the lore master when it comes to this. At least one of the lore masters of this game, and he's helped me a lot with like some of the characters and the script in TOV, and has helped fleshed out the script more when I was writing it and going through it, at least for seasons 1, 2, and 3, and I'm sure for future seasons to come as well. He's going to be doing part of that as well. So it's glad to have both you guys on board tonight, because if it was just me,
pleasure.
this would be incredibly boring. So
No, it wouldn't.
well,
If it was just you, it wouldn't be boring.
it would be less exciting. Let's put it that way.
Okay, well, I mean, sure, but you know, you're not as loud as I am, so.
Exactly. Exactly. I need the enthusiasm, you know, and
There
it's
you
just
go.
I,
Let's go! Come on!
I'm about to get over the
Bring
hill.
it!
I'm about to get over the hill. My
We're
enthusiasm.
talking
just
about
rages.
Heroscape.
I still remember that commercial. I don't know who was it. I can't remember the one they did the spoof, the parody of 300. But they're like, "This is Heroscape." Like,
Wait, what?
you never saw that?
No?
Oh, it was so good. So I can't remember who it was, but they basically made a spoof of 300. But they were like, you know, talking about Heroscape. And our attack die shall blot out the sun, and it was it was just
That's
really.
not real. I don't
It's
believe
real.
it.
It's so real. I promise you. I have to find it now. I'm
I'm
dig
gonna look
through
it
the
up.
internet.
It better be on YouTube, because if it's not on YouTube, it's not real. We all know
Right?
this.
It's not gonna be
Right?
YouTube,
YouTube
it's-
is the truth.
It's not real. Oh my, oh my. Well,
It's great though. I promise.
for sure. Now, ScapeCon, and Joe, you're going to explain these things. Please tell the audience what ScapeCon is about in a nutshell. If you got.
In a nutshell, what is Heroscape?
No, what is ScapeCon?
Oh, what is
what
ScapeCon? ScapeCon is the convention that you go to play competitive Heroscape. That's what it is to me right now. I hope in the future it will become more than just that.
Mm-hmm.
But at its core, that's what you're doing. But behind the scenes, and I feel like what most people don't tell you, is the community and the in the vast majority of people that you will meet and have conversations with about the game. Also at late nights, if you like to stay up at 4 in the morning, you can. There are options to play other board games. People have bought a bunch of other board games to play late at night. I was too tired to join any of them, and I feel bad.
We still stayed up
But-
until 3 o'clock in the morning, though, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
but I think by the time we
get much
got
sleep.
all of the stuff that we needed to get done to get ready for the next morning, it was already 4 a.m.
Yes.
But yeah, so in a nutshell, it is there. We go to play events throughout the day of competitive Heroscape. Prepared armies for all these different events. I did a whole video about all of the events that were going to be at ScapeCon. Sam/Dysol had to help me explain or make me help
Right.
myself and the audience understand what all the events meant, what you needed to understand for each of those events. And there was a lot. It's a lot to take in. I get it.
And those of you who are watching this on YouTube, when this live stream eventually I added this and go on YouTube, please check out Joe Crazy's channel. But there is if you're looking for information on Heroscape, just the game itself and the gameplay and the community, Joe has a lot of information, a few videos that gives a lot of information on like ScapeCon and Heroscape in general. Please check those out. Invaluable information, great videos, great up-to-date videos.
Yeah, and definitely more to come, because that's the majority of what I want to do, and I'm sure I will do more battle videos, more tournament stuff like Utz Cup and Schweppes Cup, and of course all the ScapeCon footage, the 14 hours worth of ScapeCon footage I have, that'll be the next 2 years worth of content. But yeah, I mean, I want to make all sorts of content about the game, talking about the customs community, talk about different game modes you can play at home, different ways to play the game, how to play the game. I eventually will get into all of that, because it is a pretty easy game to get into.
Right.
Can it be pricey to go the full amount? Yeah, definitely. But there's a lot of ways to proxy and play the game differently. I've learned a lot of different methods to play the game. You don't need the tiles. You don't need, tech or anything like that. You could play this game in many different ways and enjoy it. And the first way to enjoy and learn about the game is to watch the YouTube content that's there. And even if you don't want to learn about the game right now, you already know it. Tales of Valhalla. We right here. The storytelling is here.
Yep.
The scenery is here, so you can enjoy all the hexes and the characters here. It's all great stuff. So we'll all plugging each other at this point.
Yeah, it's
Jeremy, you're a customs community. We're talking about the lore.
It's getting quite hot
about the dragons
in here
again. What happened to the
with all the
dragons?
self-love. Let's talk about. So we talked a little bit. You're mentioning the events and games. Let's just discuss that a little bit, like what they were about. Just I mean, we don't want to get into too much detail, but how are our feelings about the events and games throughout the process of that week?
Jeremy, go ahead. You give your feeling, because I just did a lot of talking.
Yeah, give your take.
So I'll be straightforward. I probably should have practiced more. Absolutely was annihilated. But a lot of these game matches are familiar to members of the Heroscapers community. Forum members have developed these game modes that were evolutions of the original game, because when you get Heroscape, it comes with all the pieces. You get a little book and a little guidebook, and it explains different scenarios in which you can play. There's the basic game mode, there's the master game mode, and then of course you can also play the various scenarios that were posted online. And that was generally the way things went in the beginning of the game. But as time has gone on, and since the game has been discontinued officially, there is a bunch of people on the forums who have developed newer ways of playing the game, using the point system, using the character types, even using the custom units. And honestly, for me, it was just absolutely fascinating to see, because here you are witnessing the legacy of Heroscape in pure action. Like, this is what Heroscape has created, the original set, what it has created in the communities, these really, interesting modes of play, like Reverse the Whip, where like you switch armies with people, and it's like, I mean, nobody's ready for that. I mean, you draft this army perfectly to your standards, and then you watch them destroy you like that. It's like
with your own army.
Kind of your own army just betrays you. Like, it's the worst. And then like wait, you work against me. I'm rolling the dice and keep whiffing, but someone else plays you, and then I'm getting destroyed by it. Okay, I see how it is. You get.
Yeah, but at least with that format, you get to learn a new way of how somebody would take that army and say, I'm going to use this. This is how I'm going to use this army.
I know how to counter my own army now. Yeah, totally.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you learn a lot.
It was really cool.
I really do love that format. It's jarring, especially if you're not familiar with all of the combinations of armies. And all the different units.
I thoroughly enjoyed.
There were people like that.
I thoroughly enjoyed getting my butt kicked. For sure.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
I'm with you. I think we all lost quite a bit.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot, but
it was lose our dignities.
It was
we went out like men.
Yes, yes. And I would say, like, everybody that I played against too were very friendly. They were very patient with my lack of knowledge of the gameplay. Lore I could discuss until time ends, but the actual gameplay I was a little rusty for some of it. I mean, took me a second or two to be like, okay, I gotta smooth all this out. I don't know how it was for you guys, but for me that kind of stalled things for like the first round or so, and then it went by a lot smoother. And yeah, got a couple of wins, and I was happy with that. And I think, Jeremy, for you won an event actually, which was
I did.
kind of a cool thing. So that was an ultra win for us.
Yeah. That was really cool. Yeah, the different tournament formats, and I mean, and it played to various strengths too, because like the one I played was called Speed Skate. So like the normal time was cut in half. It was like 25 minutes per match. So you had to be like really quick on your feet and know exactly what you're playing. You picked 4 armies. You rolled. I think they would roll a 6-sided dice, and so that dice would decide which of the armies you would play against your opponent. And you had 25 minutes to play. Like we didn't finish any game there. It was just beat up as fast as possible and try to get the most points.
Points,
And
yeah.
that was really interesting. It was really interesting because yeah, it went really quick. And then before I knew it, like I didn't even register the win until much later. They were like, "Congrats," and I was like, "Huh?" Like I was like, it was going so fast I didn't really catch on. What was
A lot
going
of
on.
these guys were math
Yeah.
quizzes too, because
Oh,
I mean,
the number games.
yeah, and I'm just like, because a lot of the stuff did come down to points usually, because everything's set on a time limit, and once you're out of time and you still have some army left, you got to calculate, okay, who's got the point advantage, and yeah, math. No, I don't do math good, but
Yep. I'm not a
fortunately,
numbers
a lot of these guys were whizzes at that, so it's like psh, no problem. Now, I just want one more thing with the events, and then we'll move on to something else. Who all faced Dicel?
I did.
Oh, yeah, me.
Okay, who
I get
got
destroyed.
their floor entirely wiped by Dicel?
I wouldn't say I got my floor wiped. I feel like I put up a fight. I
Good for
wasn't
you,
a
Joe.
long fight, but I put up a fight.
Okay, how long was it for you, Jeremy?
Oh shoot! I'm pretty sure within like round 3, round 4, I was like down to half an army. Like it was pretty intense.
Okay,
It was just like one after the other, gone, and I'm
I'm
like,
gonna
oh, huh.
describe this, because this was my moment. This was one of the fun moments. I mean, even though I was utterly trounced, she didn't beat me. I was disemboweled by her. And if anyone knows my personal history, I have an ostomy bag. I've had intestinal surgery, so there's no longer any colon there, and yet she still disemboweled me in this game. It literally was a round, and then just a portion of the beginning of the round, and I was completely wiped. It was a very well constructed army, and right after that game, I got myself some Greensco warriors, because I want to get the same. I want to get the same and learn the same type of strategy that she was using for the army that she used against me. So no, it was a lovely thing. It was a lovely thing. But I'm just like, I feel like a piece of me is missing after this was done.
Can I, Brian? Can I read something to you?
Yes, sir.
This was Insanity of Battle, right? That was the match.
I don't remember. I
Okay,
think
'cause-
it was the second day.
Okay, yeah, okay. So, hold on, let me see if there was another ones, because I think that's the only one here. Yeah, no, this had to be
And she
it.
was
This had to be it.
organizing events while she was playing too. It was
Yeah,
it
no,
was-
this had to be it.
okay,
So it says, because you use zombies in Moorsbane, right?
right.
Okay. So she writes for her battle report. It's very short. That's why I'll read it. She says, "My game plan worked to perfection here. I managed to clump a ton of zombies together and block off Zelrig from being engaged by them. Winning initiative allowed me to just form all over the place. He managed to onslaught SA. Who's SA? I don't know who SA is. Special attack. Onslaught. He managed to onslaught special attack some of Ashra, but then I immediately formed the new zombie to death.
It didn't work out well. Yeah, it didn't work out well. I mean,
I also kept it out of range of more
She
space,
obliterated
just in case.
like 5 zombies at once, basically, and you can't survive when that happens. It's just like, yeah.
But it didn't matter anyway.
Nope.
It didn't matter either way. I only lost 3 Ashra in the 2 rounds it took to finish off the
No,
zombies.
it was less than 2 rounds. It was less than
That's
2 rounds.
amazing.
I mean, it was in, like I said, beginning of the second round, and it was done. It was just like honestly, it felt like it was only like 5 minutes, and we were done.
Yeah. I mean, the paragraph, because I fought her during one of the first championship game.
Right.
And and at least that's like looks like 2 paragraphs long. So that was like 3 sentences that you had.
Yes. Yes. Anyway, okay. So I just wanted to mention that, and now my shame is done, and let's move on to something else. Let's talk about the hotel there, because
Sure.
they've hosted this twice now, and I would say with one exception, and that was like the air was kind of dry, and I think everybody that I interacted with had some type of nasally thing happening of some kind. Everybody needed to rest a little bit just because of something happening, and I think I count that to the dry air of the hotel. That Holiday Inn.
This wasn't the hotel. This is the state in general.
Right.
The air out there is very dry.
Yeah, and didn't help that it's been a very overly hot summer. But the hotel was stellar. They were so helpful and so nice, and they hosted very well, and just the food, the front service desk, knowing who we were, and just, I mean, the hospitality in general was very nice. Your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, no, I agree with 100%. Rooms was great, well done, put together. Everything came out on time. I think the events had to be pushed a certain amount of time, just to make sure we got our lunch and dinner on time. But
yeah, they're very accommodating for that.
Very accommodating to our lateness to things. But yeah, no, I mean, the whole experience of being at the hotel was great.
Right.
Had 0 issues. I would go there 10 times over.
Right. And we all bunked together too, because I thought in order to save cost, like me, Jeremy, you, and Ben, just share a room over the weekend, and that I mean, that saves a ton of money rather than just getting your own room. You know?
No, of course. And we're not in the room long either.
No.
I mean, we're up at
We're barely
6:30 in the
sleeping.
morning, down for breakfast at 7. We're the only times we ever go back to the room is if we have to change, shower, and then sleep. That's it.
Right. Right.
I mean, obviously, Brian brought his entire studio with him, so I spent
we'll talk about that in a little
just
bit.
animating and stuff. But
This is how insane.
other than that, we're down in the hall playing Heroscape and talking to people or eating and socializing. So the hotel experience is fantastic. It was great. I enjoyed it. I would go there again. You know, it was great.
And in stemming from that too, the food. How do we think the food was? The catered food.
It was good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It was good.
I think.
I ate
Wide
more food
selection.
than I ever had.
Yeah, it's a wide selection of food. I mean, look, that's the food that was included with the ticket price
Right.
for ScapeCon. They have
That
a
was
burger
worth it.
place built into the hotel.
Right.
And that food was good too.
Yeah.
I went there twice to eat, to get some drinks, and everything was delicious. So
Yeah, I thought the cost of the event was well worth for those 5 days. I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Not with that. I mean, you also got. I mean, if you invested into going early enough. I mean, you got a T-shirt, which I'm wearing right now, as well as a couple other goodies that you get just for signing up early, which was a nice thing as well. And so,
Yeah, that was
and
really
so
cool.
stemming into that, now let's talk about a little bit about the organizers of the event.
I mean, the absolute chads that worked it.
Exactly. Well, one will say that he's just, I just booked the hotel, and it was the other that, did all the planning. It was Mike and his father. What was his father's name again?
Jordan.
Jordan, right. And they came from, like, what, Massachusetts or something?
I thought Connecticut.
Connecticut? Okay. Yeah, Connecticut. Yeah, so they had to drive themselves to get there. It was very nice of them, because they could have done the ScapeCon event over there, but they wanted something more center country, which was very thoughtful for them, because then all I had to do was drive 5 hours from where I live to get there.
Which, honestly, I mean, you're thinking about the Heroscape community.
Right.
You could easily just bring it to you to make yourself easier.
Right.
But they thought, okay, majority of people, they're used to going to Gen Con, which is already in Indianapolis. and they figure, you know what, let's keep it in the area. And the hotel is super close to the airport too, so
Right.
there's they have a shuttle that goes right to the airport. So if you're flying in, all you have to do is call the hotel, and they'll come pick you up.
Right.
So either if you're driving yourself with your entire collection, or you're flying in with a small portion of your collection, it's super easy to get to this place.
Right.
There's no question. And hopefully, you know, you're still, if you weren't unsure about going this past year, there's definitely going to be a, you know, even though it's not confirmed yet,
Right.
but I'm sure there'll definitely be one next year that, you know, welcome to come. I think the only issue that we will have is if next year, if we'll have any more, because you can't have any more than 65 people.
Right.
I think that's the cutoff.
Capacity, yeah. I mean, maybe it'll branch out to where someone organizes something else somewhere else, maybe, possibly.
Yeah, and I hope to maybe try to help them in some way. I mean, I definitely want to help for next year to get more people aware of ScapeCon.
Right.
I want to spread awareness and help people make sure that they know about all the news for ScapeCon.
Right.
Yeah,
because they should.
And I think planning is important too. Because I think next year, if it's still in Indianapolis next year, what I might do is not go all 5 days. I might just plan maybe, because they have like 1-day tickets as well, which is convenient for people who can't, you know, make it for the whole time. Maybe just for a day or two, and it's probably what I plan to do next year. So that way, you know, I can have my family with me, and not bring my entire studio, because I'm not going to do that again. At least not for next year. But and so you don't have to like sign up for every event. You can pick and choose an event, and go into these events. You learn a lot about what the event is and how to figure out what to do for point value and to build your armies and to play your armies. And yeah, you're probably going to fail if you hadn't done it before, and you're going to scramble. But it is, if you're a gamer of any kind, you'll eventually learn. You'll learn the value of the pieces you have and what other people have, and all in all, just grow with this community and with your own collection, and just keep on adding to that. So, you know, it's all promotion for the community as well as your own armies and yourself. So it's a lovely thing. Yeah, and Joe's mentioning something in the comments. Yeah, because I noticed we have a little bit of an audience, and if anybody has any questions about the event, if you didn't go to the event, or if you did, and any questions or comments, or want to say something about the event yourself, feel free to leave a comment. We are looking at the comment section, and we will for sure give it a shout, and or just to say hi. Great to say hi for anybody that we met there, because we met a lot of good guys, a lot of good people there.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's so hard. I mean, I remember the armies, and I have to try to connect them with everybody's faces now, because I saw a lot of really good armies that I was very surprised with, because I don't own them yet. I don't own those characters.
A lot of C3V mixes too with armies.
No, see, I already knew all of those. It was the OG units I don't own that I didn't know. Like the Granite Guardians. I faced an army of Granite Guardians. Oh my god, those things are amazing. Why aren't we people using them more often?
I just need to paint some of my molten lava guys into gray, and
I think those are really rare to get. Same model.
They're horribly rare. It's like it's the same thing. Just paint them gray and make them rock, and there you go. There's your proxies. But since we're talking about the community anyway, that was going to be the next subject. So let's dive in a little bit more about the community there that we encountered, because these were basically I was able to put some of the faces with the names of people that, you know, I had never, you know, seen before. I've only seen them like them play online Heroscape through like the 10 points under, and I commentate on like some of the games, and then I'm actually playing them in person. I'm like, oh yeah, I know who you are. I commented on some of your games of 10 points under. I've seen some of your online gameplay via 10 points under. So that was very nice to see, and then get my butt whomped by by those very same people. So yeah, lovely thing.
For example, I believe Vegetarian 18 was there.
Yeah.
Very
nice guy.
Tanner, I believe, right? Tanner.
I think so. Yeah. And I faced against him twice.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I've only encountered that once. Did any of you verse somebody more than twice?
Just Vegetarian 18. That was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I only versed one person twice, and it was 2 different events.
Yeah, me too. It was 2 different events for him as well. Yeah.
So they did a good job with like spreading everyone out. So I'm not playing against, let's say, the same person. Throughout the entire event. So they do a very good job with spreading everyone out. Chris Perkins was there. I played with him in the multiplayer Madness.
Mm-hmm.
Jack, Knight, something Knight. I can't think of it now.
I should have names, but of course, again, like I said, I have nothing organized. It's been a week, and I'm literally like, my mind is still melted from the gameplay, because it's like trying to organize all these armies, and after a few days of organizing armies, playing the game for hours and hours, you realize this is really almost like a sport, to where like you mentally you just get drained after a time if you're not used to it, so yeah. But yeah, no, and it was like, when you're sitting down with meals and you're talking with people and you're discussing like the game or life, or your own personal like situations, it was very nice to have that type of communication, with some people, over meals or gameplay or whatever. So enjoyed that a lot.
Oh, Cody! I played against Cody twice, I think. Cleon? I think I played against him.
Yeah. Leon was one of my teammates on the Shifting Alliances.
Yeah, he was mad chill. I liked him.
That was really cool.
Mm-hmm. Some of the guys I couldn't connect their names with their accounts, because I'll say I remember Chandler, I remember Jack. I'd never played against Master Roshi. I believe Andrew. But I know he wanted to play against me, so hopefully next year.
Right.
First person I played against was Mr. Chompy, and he entirely wiped the floor with me. Although I still put up a good fight, but I mean, it's Mr. Chompy,
Yeah.
So
a lot of names and faces I'll come back to once I start editing all the games.
For sure.
Because there was a lot of people. Oh, Paul, remember Paul? A lot of people, and I had to keep repeating their names. Like, oh, okay, you're this name, yes, okay. I had to keep repeating a lot just to remember. So I apologize if
yes,
I'm not. It's not coming up to me right now because it's a lot. There is a lot of you,
people.
And I haven't had a chance to talk to you on a regular basis.
That's just a small percentage of the community.
Oh yeah,
too. You have thousands of people on the Heroscapers Facebook and Heroscapers.com page too. So yeah, but yeah, it was great to see all of them there, and hopefully in the future, and others within the community who haven't been able to go in the future, and hopefully interact and play some Heroscape, either via tournament play or as you and me, Joe, because we didn't have a chance to face off in any of the events, so we just did one last game, one last hurrah game, like, and I think that's the last one you played, right? Or no?
That was the last one you played.
Yeah,
I played two more games the next morning.
Oh, the next morning, okay. Yeah.
Which I'm glad I played, but that morning was brutal. Oh. I got utterly destroyed those games.
Hey, every failure is a learning experience.
It is, of course. Yeah. And trust me, I did learn a lot that week.
Right.
A lot.
Yeah, I definitely want to quick shout out to all the Heroscapers that took the time out to explain their gameplay after the match had ended. They took the time out to give some advice, took some time out to be like, hey, thanks for the game, and just the general like atmosphere like that.
Very patient.
Keep that up, please.
Yes.
Please keep doing
to
that.
Anybody who's new, like
that was amazing.
A lot of
that
people,
was so nice.
I mean, I know there are some people that like have come on to Tales of Valhalla, just saw it on YouTube, and they have discovered Heroscape for the first time via my YouTube channel, and there's even like one or two that are saying, because I've talked about ScapeCon and them talking about possibly trying to go next year, and that's great, but they will be very new, so it's good to tell them that there is a community of people out there, and when you go there not knowing as much as others, that, I mean, you're still gonna get thrashed, but everybody's going to be really nice about it and explain things and be patient with it. It's not like they're going to be totally impatient.
Because they know you're new, they will help you out too. They're not going to, you know, not say. I mean, look, if Chris Perkins is playing against Mike, they're not going to help each other out.
No.
But you know, both those times, you know, playing with me, they knew I wasn't new. I was new to the scene. I do play with my friends, but I'm not super into the competitive scene, so they were able to help me with different moves. Like, just Joe, like, hey, just want to let you know, you could do this if you want, you know, and you could still make that decision to take their advice or not, you know, if you think it's the right move. So yeah, it's the sportsmanship is fantastic.
Oh yes, absolutely.
All of them have been super grateful to give the feedback. You know, pre-game, mid-game, post-game, because there are times that I would ask, like, okay, how'd you do that? what could I have done better there? You know? Yeah. And they'd be like, oh, you know what? You spread your order markers out too much. You know, you got to focus on one thing or the other. You know, you don't really, you know, otherwise you're moving your army up, but like because you have different, you don't have all the same squad. You're spreading them out too much. You know, you're not moving everyone up. You're not moving a certain amount, you know, into the game. So it was very helpful, very helpful.
And I will say one of my wins was against Mike, and it came down to points, and it actually came down to like I had the last turn before time ran out, and I was able to swipe and get like dealt like 4 wounds, and so that won me the game. But it was a win, and so I just like yes,
hey, a win's a win. Yeah.
Against the organizer of the thing. So that was my win for the whole week basically. I felt pretty good about myself after that. So yes, community, awesome. And let's see here. Now, when it comes to like the content creation, we already talked a bit about that, as well as the content creators there, because like last year, I think really the only content creator that was there was Sir Heroscape. Now, this year there was me, there was you, Joe, there was MK plus Ultra, there was Sir Heroscape as well. And wait, I do have a photo of that. Hold on 1 second. Let me just pull.
And I will say, I mean, the guy that was streaming the games live.
Yeah.
He streams on a weekly basis
too.
Does. And I forgot that he was there, and I only met him the last day. And I'm like, oh shit, that's you! Like, I didn't even realize it.
I talk to him via Twitch sometimes too, so he knows.
Yeah, Filth.
Yes.
Filthy?
Yes, something like that.
Oh, I can't think of his first name right now. Does you guys remember?
Trying to remember.
Brain Nope. I hope to be on the Heroscapers group, but we'll have to like.
I know. I want to talk to him, and like I said, I want to talk to more of these guys. You know, and get to know them all. To be on the channel at some point to talk about different topics.
Right.
So I want to be able to learn all of you. So please, either before if by chance I haven't reached out yet, please reach out to me and say hello. Because I know recently Ryan Vidar reached out to me because he wants to start a group on the East Coast.
Oh, cool.
And he knows that I'm on the East Coast, so he reached out to me and was interested to see if I would ever be interested in going to an event on the East Coast. And I'd be like, hey, yeah, anytime, anything closer that maybe I could drive a couple hours out, I'd be down. I'd be down.
And so I do have like a little group photo here of some of the content creators. I think this was like on that Saturday night or whatever, but it was like Joe, me, and this is I posted this on Heroscaper's Facebook page. MK plus Ultra, Sir Heroscape, and Jeremy, Sir S&M. Just there, just to show that yes, we were there. We had our cameras, and they were out. Some of us,
My camera is my mind.
we're a little bit more in depth. Well, you vlogged for like a second with my camera, and then I never gave it to you again. Which just like I said, I was only half focused on that.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to talk to Sir Heroscape as much as I thought I would have time to.
I talked to him for about 60 seconds. I like
60 seconds? Yeah, I think I got the same too.
I shook hands with him. Like, it was great to finally meet you. He's like, oh yeah, it's great to finally meet you too. We chatted for a second, and then he like, oh, and he went off to go to something else, because I mean, stuff was always happening. Sometimes it's hard to talk if you're not like sitting at even at meals. We were kind of limited in when we talk because you'd only limited time to eat, and then we're back to gameplay.
Yeah, so you kind of want to you kind of want to just go find like the group of people that you have been talking to,
Right.
sit down and like and eat and go back to it, because you only have like an hour to eat, and would you think plenty of time. But you sit down, you eat,
And you
and you
realize,
start
oh, I
talking,
have
and you
to
realize, oh
organize
shoot,
another
I gotta
army.
prepare my armies, I gotta sign in.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta go find my seat. Well, even for us, I mean, for myself, I have to set up my equipment before, you know, we go out and start playing. So there was a lot of time that I had to take to do all this other stuff. So, to go out of, you know, my way to go sit down and say hello, and you know, there's a lot. So I'm hoping to talk to him more often, this year. And reach out.
What absolutely will probably be beneficial for next year is really to organize your time. Take an event per day.
Yes.
Maybe
Definitely.
even per day and a half, depending on how like prepared you are. So that way it gives yourself time to prepare, also time to talk to people, especially for us content creators out there. When like playing the game isn't our primary. It's actually like the content, the
Reviewing
the
it,
lore
yeah.
building of the whole events. That might be good. So that way we could maybe record other people's games, you know, and instead of just our
I
own.
would love the honor to bringing a majority of my equipment to record the like finals game.
Right.
Yeah.
I would love to give my Utz Cup treatment to the finale of championship game.
That might be an idea
if
for next
possible.
year. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it's you that's in the championship, then someone else can take the camera. You know.
Well, then at that point, I wouldn't hope that it wouldn't be filmed, because I probably would be. I don't even know how possible that would be to get there. I have
Anything's
no idea.
possible.
I would have to bring the
Anything's
most
possible.
broken army that only a chimpanzee could use to win.
Now, I'm gonna talk about the things that happened in our hotel room, which no hanky panky. It was all above board, but it was crazy. But before I do that, anything else you guys want to talk about ScapeCon? Anything that I might have missed? Anything that comes to your mind that you want to talk about?
Jeremy?
Well, okay, I will say, I don't know, just the general vibe, once again, was fantastic. Great community energy, great environment, lots of individuals taking the time out to prepare this event. And I mean, I don't know, it was just nice to see, like, you get those like really small moments, those tiny little experiences that just really neat to find out. And like, for example, you know, seeing Wasaga and Zelrig, the actual pieces, those pieces, and you're like, wow, they still have these? No, those were 3D printed. Those were 3D printed characters that looked exactly like the originals, and I mean, without any flaw. And I was just like, you know what? This is super cool. I'm so glad to see that, you know, this set dominated the market. It's really expensive to get one. But now there's a chance for newer scapers who are just getting into the game, may have just found out about it in the past year. And if they wanted those units, you know, they don't have to spend $200 anymore. They can print it themselves. And that's something that the community has created. That's something that is, once again, the legacy of Heroscape. It's something that we did. And I think that's just, it was fascinating. Just to observe all of that and see all that and play, it's just super cool.
It's amazing how this game has been discontinued for what now, 12 plus years?
Yeah, 2010 was the official announcement.
And it's still expanding because that's what the community... Is there any other community in the world like this? You know, with any other game that is
but
not
I'm not aware of it.
Yeah, with a game that's been discontinued for 12 years. Any other game that's been discontinued for 12 years of this caliber, it's just gone. We're actually using proxies of those miniatures of games that are gone for this game, practically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are actively taking characters from other games for our game.
All right.
That's literally the job of the customs community.
It is. It's because there were some custom minis that I saw there. I'm like, wait a minute, I know those miniatures. That was from another game like 10 years ago that I helped review that is no longer here.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah, no, it's just amazing, and that's one of the special things about this game and about this community is how, like, I was thinking the other day, when it comes to making Tales of Valhalla, even if the community wasn't there, even if there wasn't this continued custom making of the game and how much this game is played, I would have still created this universe. I still would have done it. I don't think I would have had as big as an audience, but I still would have done it just because it's been fun, and it's been fun creating the story. But just the fact that this community is out here, and we are having a convention for Heroscape 12 years after it's been discontinued, it's just incredible. It just blows my mind.
Yeah, I'm very grateful to have found this community, and that they're still playing the game, and they have enough community to say, you know what, let's get, a countrywide convention going. That's on its standalone itself.
That's the whole thing was Heroscape, and it thrived. There wasn't a dull moment. There wasn't like a point of, okay, what do we do now? It was like event, and like they had the entire thing set up for an entire week, and it was just like, oh my goodness, like it still works as a formula.
You know what, too? I thought by the end of the week, I had hope. But at the end of the week, I thought maybe I'd be tired of playing. I'd be like, all right, I have to take a week off and playing. Literally as soon as I got home, because I know Glenn and Michaela that came with me, they were done they only played 2 days, and they were like, all right, I'm done for the week, whatever. I said, I can't wait to go back and play. I can't wait to take what I've learned and like try to apply it to games with my friends. And so that's why I invited everyone over Thursday. We're gonna try doing some kind of multiplayer madness event.
That's cool.
So we're gonna try that out. I'm gonna get index cards and do the exact same thing for everybody else's army. So I'm looking forward to that.
That's great. And I don't know about you guys, but I know just like for that week also, and that's why I kind of wanted to do something this weekend, because I'm still processing the events of that week in my head. It's been a week later, and I'm still doing that, but I wanted to do some type of live stream just for us to talk about it, to communicate to the community and to others out there that are even maybe possibly slightly interested in the game, or what can be in store for it, just before those fresh memories go away of that event, just to get that out there. So I'm glad you guys could join me tonight for that aspect.
Yeah, for sure.
No, absolutely. I don't think that week, I don't think I'll ever forget. I had such a blast learning and playing that game, and meeting so many different people. I felt the most focused I've ever been because of how excited I was to go and play the game with the people that also love this game to a passion.
Yep.
It was so great. I had such a good time. I can't wait to go and play with you guys again.
The man is giddy.
See,
He's absolutely giddy.
And this next year, I'll actually be prepared. I'll have my own units that I've, hopefully by the time the event happens next year, I've already planned
Man's
every
gonna
contingency.
rocket with Kurok and fire elementals.
Want to train hard. It's gonna be
that army was in the championship game, so
yeah, Kurok is doing really well.
Get some different elementals and try different things out.
I got 3 fire ones now.
There's a reason why in season 2 and a little bit in season 3 that Kurok wanted the fire elemental and uses the fire elemental within the show, just because I already knew it was a strong combination within the game.
I see. You were ahead of the curve.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew that already. So great. Now, anything else before I get into just for the final thing? Some of my own personal goals for that week, and we'll talk about that for a minute. But anything else before I get into that?
No, go ahead, Ryan.
All right. So when I packed for going for this week, not only did I bring pretty much all my miniatures, I also brought my, because always filmmaker at heart, I brought my voiceover studio. I have a mobile voiceover studio, and I have a mobile animation studio as well. I can literally take this stuff anywhere and set up the set and create Tales of Valhalla content, because over the past several years that is what I have done. I have moved a few times. I have been across the country literally getting voiceovers from people for the show. And so this wasn't a new thing to me. I haven't done it in a year because most everything is wrapped, but there was a little bit of a skit that I wanted to animate. There was some voiceovers of Ben's that I needed to get from him. So I brought everything along and set up in the hotel room just to show that yes, you can do this in a hotel room too, and do it quite well. And I reviewed what I animated. I spent a little bit of time last week doing that, and everything looks good. Everything looks pretty good, Joe, because I know you're observing.
Oh, excellent.
That. So I'm just going to show.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the final product, because seeing you work on that and just seeing, that whole process, I'm just like.
Yeah, well.
I know it's going to look great because you're working on it. Because if it was me, I'd have no idea.
I probably will not. Like this, and it was, and I'll just say right now what it was. I was animating is going to be a short video of Kimoshi introducing herself, basically, and it has like satire elements to it, but also explains like her attitude, her personality, who she is. It's kind of like a little bit of a wall break too, because they're speaking directly at the camera. They know they're speaking to the audience, but so it's part of the universe, but it's not part of any episode. It's just the characters introducing themselves to the audience. So I can have a little bit of fun with it, and so that's what I did, and that's what I animated. So I brought some of my, not all of my terrain, but I brought some of my terrain to build this set. And like I said, before working on the set, I also brought like my microphone, which I have right here beside me. I tore this down from my desk and then brought it to the hotel with me. I have a laptop that I used to record stuff in. I got Ben's voiceovers done. It was just a couple. It was just a couple that we had missed over the last year for some characters for toward the end of season 3, and so we got that done. And Ben was, with the exception of my own voiceovers that I still need to do for some of these last episodes, Ben was the last voice actor that I had to coach to end so it's like all the 30 plus people that volunteered their time and their effort. Ben was the last, and so that was a special moment when that finished. Although I don't have any photos of that, so that's as far as I'm going to go with that. Mm-hmm. But I just want to show, this is basically the setup here on the screen. And so you have, so in a hotel room, there's a bed, and this is like the little corner of a hotel room, and like shut off with the window, and you can see a little bit of light streaming here on the top, but I animated when it was darker, so you wouldn't have to worry about any daylight spilling in. But here you have the background. You got just, these are very simple can lights that you get from Home Depot or Lowe's, and then just basically your different variations of light bulbs, and then you have like the rig set up with the camera, and I have a little bit of close-up of that as well that I'll show in a minute. But you also, like you have here, just the setup, the scene. This is basically jungle, ruins, and just try to make it as aesthetically pleasing as possible, but as well as just making sure you have a setup for, excuse me, for where your miniature is going to be animated. And yeah, so that basically is to make sure you got the 3-point lighting set up, the backdrop, and you're good to go. And one very important thing too, make sure you have your backdrop clamped to the pole. Otherwise, like any movement could cause it to move, and then that movement will show up in your animation. So it's always good to clamp it to make sure it doesn't move in the background. Although I am going to make a tutorial of this. This is why I recorded videos of this, of different shots, so that way eventually I'm just going to do a nice little probably multiple tutorials on how to set up the set, and then how to animate for those out there who want to do this type of animation, because I would love to see that. I'd love to see people like writing out scripts and stories, because there's a ton of stories written on Heroscapers.com. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that have incredible stories on these characters and these universes, and it'd be fun to see some of that stuff animated. It doesn't have to be my stuff all the time. I mean, I challenge people out there, make some stuff. Like, give me a run for my money. That would be really fun to watch. But yeah, this is the camera rig. It's just basically it's a older rickety tripod here, and you weigh it down, and then this is my Canon T3i that I've used. This camera body and lens I've used for all 300,000+ photos of stop motion animation for seasons 1, 2, and 3. And if you look at it close enough, if you would be able to see it close enough, it does have some wear and tear, but it still does the job. And you got Kimoshi there. So yeah, so it took like the whole week setting up that set, and because it does take time, and thought to put it up. But I knew I'd have enough time to do that, and then the last night we were there on Saturday night, I did the animation, and Joe wanted to check that out on how I did that, and kind of inspired him to hopefully do his own stuff in the future as well.
Yeah, definitely. Once I move, I wanna try doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And not the funky one, not the funky version I tried to do a couple months ago.
Hey, I gotta start somewhere. I mean,
you gotta start somewhere.
Everybody who's watched season 1 of Tales of Valhalla knows that I started from somewhere, and I mean I learned fast, but I'm still learning. Still learning this whole process, and we'll still continue to learn. But yeah, you gotta start somewhere. So yeah, so with that, I say so one more time, I'm gonna go nuts. But I think that's all we have to say over that week. So
it was awesome.
Yeah, we just, I mean, let's see, we've been doing, how long we did? About an hour's worth of live stream. I'd say that's not bad. Recapping ScapeCon. Anything else you guys want to say before we sign off for tonight?
I'll say to tune in to Joe Crazy's channel, my channel, because I have some video footage of the event that I want to post and do my own What's Joeing On video talking about some other stuff in depth. I will say that. I'll say I was very surprised on how much Morrow that was going to be at the event.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I thought the Morrow was like a niche thing. I wasn't expecting it to be like the majority of armies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not see that coming. I was really surprised.
Orcs too. There were a lot of orcs.
I'm glad to see it. I love the Mario.
Oh yeah.
So it was so awesome that the majority of games that I played was like Mario on Mario. It was so great. So thank you to you, the community, for loving the Mario. Thank you. The love is there.
It was fun to play Master Wu, you know, because I think only one other person had a Master Wu there. I think.
Interesting. Yeah.
And because I mean he's kind of expensive and rare to get. I mean, I suppose you could do a proxy of them as well. I mean, it's really just. I mean, for what $150 to get this original figure,
little guy. Yeah, it doesn't
much.
Seem logically worth it,
but he it is fun to play with him, especially if you got there's a custom Shaolin Master, and with the. And you know this, Joe. I'm sure you'll release this video sometime down the line, because I faced Joe with this particular army, and I kind of like the army. Probably.
Yeah,
probably
you did good with them.
Yeah, but I loved those little what are they, nibs that you had as well. Too.
Oh, the nids. Yeah, I love the nids. Oh, I love the nids.
So I can't wait to see that. I don't know when you're gonna make that, because that was one of the last games you played. But that
might be a while.
That might be a while.
Especially if I put them all out in order.
Right. But it'll be fun to see what because you, like I said, you taped a lot, so it'll be fun to see what you have in the future for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what I have.
So before we finish, like again, last call, because I know there is a few people watching. Anybody from the Heroscape community watching, feel free to comment in these last few minutes of this live stream. If you want to say hi, any other comments, any shout outs, please do so now before we close, because we'd love to hear from you. But with that, the goodbyes, like saying goodbye, like Ben, as far as like us, our quartet in the hotel room, you, Joe, you, Jeremy, me, and then Ben. Ben was basically the first to leave because he had to fly out early in the morning, and I made sure to get up, because I mean I had to get some sleep because I had to drive that Sunday, but I made sure to get up like around 4 when he was leaving, and then I saw him off, because you know he kind of had to do that. I almost felt like, because I'm a year away from 40 years old. You guys are roughly around average the age of 30, so I'm
it's only a decade difference. It's not a big deal.
I feel it's a big deal, but technically I was a senior of the group. Let's just put it that way. So I felt a little bit of responsibility, just a tiny bit of responsibility. I know we're all adults, but the tiniest bit of responsibility. So yeah, it was great to see Ben, and I know that the man
he was a blast.
As a hard worker. Oh yeah,
I love being around Ben. He was great.
Yeah, no, very very friendly, very nice guy, and I hope like we all work together in the future, one way or another, and we probably will. It's going to be grand time.
Because I was up with him. Did you know this? I was up with him when he had to leave. He was filming a game with Cody.
Right.
And I just hung around and watched the game. And then after the game was over, like realized, oh shoot, don't you have a flight in an hour? And he's like, oh, I gotta go. So he's grabbing all his stuff, and he didn't have any like proper containers for his stuff. And I'm like, Ben, don't you have like a plastic box to put all your characters and cards in? And he's like, no, I just have all these like cardboard boxes and plastic like flimsy boxes. I'm like, dude, what the heck? Like,
bless his
so
heart.
we're like grabbing all this stuff together and like rush and bringing it upstairs.
But his luggage was stuff that couldn't be squashed. You know, it was like that hard plastic stuff. So everything, as long as it was in the luggage, it was going to be, you know, fairly safe.
Yeah,
right.
He did drop something, and he lost one figure, but I have the other figure. So I gotta send it to him.
Yeah, that's another thing too. We switched off figures so much that I still have yet to go through my miniatures to make sure I'm pretty sure I do have everything, but I still gotta make sure I have everything.
Yeah.
Oh my. But yeah, goodbyes, and then it was like then you stayed like a day after, and then me and Jeremy journeyed our way back home.
Yep.
And so that's that. But yeah, so that was pretty much it for for the time, and that was our recollections of the experiences of that time. It was great. Hope to do it in some other ways in the future, and I honestly hope it does like find its way expanding in the future to where it's not just Mike, not just his dad, but it's others as well in the future, and also to expand to probably different avenues as well, to make it an actual con, not just a name only. Because
and it's like, and that the competitive side of it is just one portion of it,
right.
And we can have other rooms of talking about, let's say a future of TOV.
There
and
are
like,
practically booths because people were selling things there. I mean, just have people run selling booths or something.
And maybe have other presentations. Like for example, I can do a presentation talk about how I film games and my editing process.
Right.
Or have a whole 2 hours of Jeremy talking about lore.
Oh, I could easily.
This is the last thing I want to talk about too when it comes to this. I almost forgot. So, what was good? What might not have been good? And what could be better for the future? What could be planned for the future? So let's speculate on that for a second. So what we already talked about what was good. So what do you think could have been better for the events? And this is this is just speculation. This isn't criticizing anybody. I mean, it was run really well. So this is just us just kind of critiquing, just giving our own take. We could be wrong about our takes, but this is just discussion.
I would love to see a stronger social media presence for the event overall. I feel like as it was absolutely well designed and well planned out for the event itself, but like if you hadn't asked me to go, I probably wouldn't have even known it was a thing.
Right.
Like it is very, very quiet, and maybe that's the way they want it to be, and that's totally fair. But I think it deserves a little bit more light on the subject. I mean, if anything, just like a nice little poster that everyone can retweet. Those that are on Instagram, something to post there. Those that are on Facebook, something to post there. And it doesn't have to be a huge campaign at all. Just like a nice little advertisement, go out and spread the word. Because oh my goodness, like I feel like it could have, it definitely deserved.
Yeah, and I know I'm gonna try to reach out to Mike, and help with that, because I've noticed a lot of people. I would post something on the Facebook page or on the Instagram. People are like, "Oh, what is this?"
Yeah,
and so what do you mean you don't know what this is? Like, like it's ScapeCon. Like,
I had no idea until Ryan invited me. Like, I didn't even know I didn't know there was one last year. I didn't know there was one this year. It was just kind of like oh, this is happening. I was like, oh, question mark? Like, yeah. So definitely would want to see.
I basically knocked on your door and be like, hey, come on, let's go.
Yeah, it was like I would have never known. So I want to see it talked about more. I want to see it out there more. For sure. And
at least that's my promise, Jeremy. That's on me now. I'm gonna help and make sure people get to know.
I'm gonna watch.
No, I think I think they ran it perfectly from the events list, the order of the events that occurred over the 4 days were perfect. Starting off with a multiplayer madness, which. Yes, it was absolute madness.
It was insane.
Especially if you're not ready for all of the stuff that was about to happen. But also it was a great event to introduce for new people to get in and to introduce yourself with other scapers. Because of how the timelines, and I know they want to try to fit in as much as possible.
Right.
So there was a lot of rushing around going on. So the only downtime you really had was late at night after 11 p.m. To kind of chill and relax and play other games. And I would say the breakfast probably was the most lax. You definitely had more time in the morning to eat and mingle than you did during lunch and dinner. So it was difficult to, I find a little difficult unless you branched out and maybe skipped an event to actually start mingling with other scapers. But for me, I wanted to try to do as much as I could. But you definitely don't want to do that because you have to take a break at some point. Otherwise, you will get a headache.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I just wish there was more time in the day, in one day, to go and talk to other people. So it was, but everything was ran very smooth and perfect. I'm sure Mike and Sam and some of the other TOs, the tournament organizers, would maybe not agree with me, because I'm sure that things did go wrong for them with using their new computer system and using emails and the Google.
The Google Sheets and stuff.
The Google Sheets, yeah, to organize the events, because you can just plug in what army you have, what character, what person you are, and they organized everything on a sheet of paper, so you knew what table you had to go to, who you were playing against. So they had a whole system, which was, I think from my perspective, worked great. I think it was a perfect system, but I'm sure to their point of view, they were like, okay, we had issues with this, and this, and I'm sure they'll correct it for next year.
For sure. Yeah,
yeah.
And all I can do is look forward to what next year will bring. And then just I know we talked about this for a second, but what about anything else about expectations for the future?
It's just more Scape.
More Scape.
More Scape. I mean, look, casual events. I'd like to see more casual events.
Right.
Not that the events that they had were sweaty, but it just, every event that I went to felt very competitive. Unless it was against, let's say, like I did play against Glenn, so that was like a normal occurrence for me. I'm like, wait a minute, what are you doing here? I did play against Ben, and that felt like a very casual experience. I thought that was a fun. Playing against you as a private match was a lot of fun. Right. Actually, Jeremy, the multiplayer madness game that I played with you and Glenn, that would felt like a lot of fun. Yeah. Not that the other games weren't fun, but like I guess less stress,
less tournament stress.
Yeah, maybe because of some of the people that I haven't played against and I don't know personally, I felt that I had to, in some sense, play harder than I normally do.
Right.
I didn't feel like I had
concentrate harder.
I had to concentrate harder because I wanted to prove something to them and prove something to myself that I can be up to par. Which
didn't happen at all. Just
right. And I'm sure people might say that, oh, Joe, it's all in your head. I'm like, yes, I know it's all in my head. That's the problem. It is all in my head. But I feel embarrassed if I didn't do, as good. So I wanted to do good to show you guys that for a Heroscape content to be utter trash at the game, it would be embarrassing. But I think I performed okay. But it was, like I said, so event wise, starting with Multiplayer Madness was great. And ending it with the Three-Headed Hydra game mode, which was a team event. So you had to go out and be part of a team with other members of the Heroscape community. And so by the end of the 4 days, that last day, you were like, oh, now I know people's names. I can mingle with them. Oh, hey, Chris, you looking for a team member? Sure, I'll be on your team,
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Matt, you want to be on my team? Sure, we'll be on your team. And then, it was a pleasure. So now, starting Multiplayer Madness was a great event to introduce people to each other, and then ending it with an event that, now that you knew people, you can join them for one less battle, and I think that was perfect.
Absolutely. So with that, I guess we will sign off. If you guys want to say your farewells, Jeremy, go ahead first.
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for the invitation. Of course, for those that may not have heard, my name is Jeremy, also known as Croatoan, or the SLM on Twitch. I run the SLM Call It. It is one-stop shop. If you want to hear me rant about 5 hours on lore, that's the best place to do it, because I'm probably ranting about some lore of some sort. And you can catch me on Twitch. I got a channel on YouTube, and try to run the Twitter here and there. So looking into trying to cover a little bit more of Heroscape now. Now that I know that it's still active, super active, of course, I'm gonna try to see if there's anything I can do to kind of contribute to the overall community picture, because it's pretty great.
What was your Heroscaper name,
Yeah.
Jeremy?
My Heroscaper name. So I'm on the forums as Majora's Incarnation. Been there since 2009. Yeah, so been there for a while. So it's fun to kind of come back and be like, hey, remember me?
Yeah.
And Joe.
Yeah. And I am JoeCrazy3193. I have my own YouTube channel where I make Heroscape content as well as short films and video game stuff, movie stuff. And I just want to say to you, Ryan and Jeremy, it still blows my mind that we met in person, and you guys are an absolute blast to be around, and I cannot wait to see you guys again. Truly.
For sure.
You guys are so much fun to be around. Spending so much time with you guys those past days, it was an absolute blast and pleasure. So I can't wait to meet you guys again.
It's not cliche to
thank
say
you.
that, building the bonds of friendship with people, like-minded people is a wonderful thing. So, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely for that.
Yeah, it did not. Sometimes when you meet, new people, and even though we've talked many times online and on the live streams, you would always think, it might be a little awkward, maybe a little sweet. No, like nothing happened. Best friends all the way through. Like super chill, matched the vibe. It was great. It was so great. You guys are awesome.
Very cool. And with that, I will sign us off here. Thank you everybody watching the live stream tonight. It was wonderful having you on board. Hope you can return this coming Wednesday when I start working on episode 7 more. I got the voiceovers pretty much done, and now I'm going to be working on the video stop motion portions, adding those to the voiceovers and starting to construct this episode, which I know everybody wants to know what happens next. So we're going to start working on that this coming Wednesday. And for those of you who are watching this on our Tales of Valhalla YouTube page, this is going to be an edited down version of what's like almost an hour and a half long of us discussing the events of ScapeCon number 2 2022. And you can see the full amount of this discussion on our Conductor Productions YouTube page, which should be in the screen in front of you or a link in the description below. And so with that, I thank both of you again, Jeremy, Joe, for joining me tonight to have this discussion, for just just spilling out the beans of what happened during the week of ScapeCon. And it was wonderful again being with you guys and playing, losing, winning, and just overall having a grand time and growing, really growing personally, and just sharing our experiences and lives. It's a wonderful thing. So glad to have you guys on board with me tonight. And to you, the audience, watching this on Twitch and on Facebook, always appreciate the support. Go to Tales of Valhalla, go to Joe Crazy, go to the Elysium, like, share, subscribe, press the buttons, just press all the buttons on those pages, and we appreciate always the support. And with that, I bid you all a good night. See you next Wednesday, and yeah, as Joe says, peace, and as I say, you have a purpose in your life. Find it, pursue it, and live it, and we'll see you guys next time. Night, y'all.
Bye bye.
See you.